Picture this. Millions of vibrant people over 60 are sitting in their living rooms right now, scrolling through travel photos on their phones, secretly aching to explore that little coastal town they've always dreamed about, or visit grandchildren across the country. But there's a voice in their head, maybe even voices from family members, whispering that they're too old, too fragile, too dependent to make it on their own. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. Society has convinced us that reaching 60 means surrendering our independence, especially when it comes to travel. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to reclaim that freedom and prove to yourself and everyone else that age is nothing but a number on your driver's license. You'll discover the simple tools, practical strategies, and mindset shifts that will have you confidently booking your own trips, navigating airports like a pro, and turning every journey into an adventure of self-discovery. Number 1. Plan your own trip. Here's a truth that might sting a little. Somewhere along the way, the world convinced you that turning 60 means handing over your independence to someone else. Maybe your children insist on booking your flights, or friends shake their heads when you mention traveling alone, as if your birthday somehow erased decades of wisdom and capability. I know that feeling of standing in front of a computer screen, staring at travel websites that seem designed for people half your age. The buttons feel confusing, the options overwhelming. You might have tried once, gotten frustrated, and thought, maybe they're right. Maybe I should just let someone else handle this. But here's what nobody tells you. Those same websites that intimidate you today were once mysteries to everyone, including the 20-somethings who seem to navigate them effortlessly. The moment you decide to take back control of your travel planning, everything changes. Start small. Download one app, maybe Make My Trip or Expedia. Ask a grandchild or tech-savvy friend to sit with you for 30 minutes, not to do it for you, but to show you where to click. Watch their fingers move across the screen, then try it yourself. Feel that little surge of pride when you successfully search for flights to a destination you've always wanted to visit. When you plan your own trip, you hold the power. You choose the departure time that works with your morning routine. You pick the hotel room with the view you want. You control your budget, knowing exactly where every dollar goes. No more wondering why someone booked you a 6 a.m. flight when you prefer traveling after lunch. No more feeling like a passenger in your own adventure. Your first successful booking will feel like a small victory, but it's really the beginning of something much bigger, the return of your independence. Number 2. Choose and organize your own travel gear. Remember when you used to pack everything you might possibly need, just in case? That heavy suitcase you could barely lift, stuffed with what-if items that never saw the light of day during your trip. Now, every pound you carry feels heavier on your shoulders. Every step with that bulky bag reminds you that your body isn't what it used to be. But here's where age becomes your advantage, not your limitation. You've lived long enough to know the difference between what you need and what you think you need. That wisdom translates into packing that's smarter, not harder. Choose a lightweight, wheeled suitcase that rolls smoothly beside you like a faithful companion. Feel how much easier it is to navigate airports and hotel lobbies when you're not wrestling with dead weight. Your medicine becomes your most important travel companion. Organize your pills in a weekly dispenser, each compartment clearly labeled with the day and time. Slip a copy of your prescriptions into a waterproof pouch. Take a photo of your medical reports and save them to your phone. These simple steps transform anxiety into confidence, knowing you're prepared for any situation. Pack 3 comfortable outfits instead of 7 mediocre ones. Choose wrinkle-resistant fabrics that dry quickly. Bring shoes you've already broken in, not the new pair that looks perfect but might leave you with blisters in a foreign city. Every item you pack should serve a purpose, earn its place in your luggage. When you pack light and smart, you're not just reducing physical strain, you're declaring your independence from the burden of excess and embracing the freedom that comes with traveling on your own terms. Number 3. Healthcare before and during the trip. There's a voice in your head that whispers, "What if something happens while I'm away from my regular doctor?" Maybe you've put off trips because you're worried about your blood pressure, your diabetes, or that heart condition that requires careful monitoring. The fear of being far from familiar medical care can feel overwhelming, like traveling with a ticking time bomb. But here's what I've learned from watching countless travelers in their golden years. Preparation transforms fear into confidence. That pre-trip visit to your doctor isn't just a checkup. It's your ticket to peace of mind. Sit across from the physician who knows your history, who understands your concerns. Ask the direct question, is it safe for me to take this trip? Most of the time, the answer will surprise you with its positivity. Your doctor becomes your travel partner in planning. They'll adjust your medications if needed, provide extra prescriptions, and give you a letter explaining your medical conditions in simple terms. They might even suggest the perfect travel insurance plan that covers your specific health needs. This isn't about preparing for disaster, it's about preparing for success. Create a small first aid kit that fits in your carry-on. Include the basics: pain relievers, antiseptic wipes, bandages, and any emergency medications. Store digital copies of your medical records in your phone's photo album. When you can access your health information instantly, anywhere in the world, you carry your entire medical team with you. The moment you stop seeing your health conditions as barriers and start seeing them as factors to manage, you transform from a worried patient into a confident traveler who happens to take medication. Number 4. Choosing the means of transportation. You're staring at travel options, and suddenly every choice feels like a test your body might fail. That cramped airplane seat where your knees press against the seat in front. The bus ride where bathroom breaks depend on the driver's schedule, not your bladder's. The train that seems perfect until you realize you'll need to climb steep steps with your luggage. I understand that moment of doubt when you wonder if your traveling days are over simply because getting from point A to point B has become more complicated. Your body has earned the right to demand comfort, and ignoring those demands doesn't make you tougher. It makes your trip miserable. Here's where smart choices make all the difference. Trains often offer the perfect middle ground, especially when you book senior-friendly accommodations in advance. Many railways provide wheelchair assistance, reserved seating, and level boarding that eliminates the struggle with high steps. The gentle rocking motion can actually be soothing, and you can stretch your legs whenever you need to. If you're driving, plan your route with rest stops every 2 hours. Your bladder will thank you, your back will thank you, and your passenger will thank you. Choose departure times that align with your natural energy patterns. If you're a morning person, don't force yourself into a late evening departure just because it might save money. For flights, request aisle seats for easy bathroom access, and don't hesitate to ask for wheelchair assistance through long terminals. It's not admitting defeat, it's being smart about conserving energy for the experiences that matter. The goal isn't to prove you can endure discomfort. The goal is to arrive at your destination refreshed and ready to enjoy every moment of your adventure. Number 5. Strategic use of technology. I see that look in your eyes when someone mentions downloading another app. Maybe you've convinced yourself that technology is a young person's game, that your fingers are too slow, your brain too set in its ways to master these digital tools. Perhaps you've tried before and felt frustrated, defeated by screens that seem to mock your efforts. But let me tell you about Margaret, a 67-year-old grandmother who was afraid to walk alone in unfamiliar cities. She learned to use Google Maps not because she loved technology, but because she loved freedom. The first time she successfully navigated to a cafe in a foreign city using nothing but her phone, she called her daughter with tears of joy in her voice. Technology isn't your enemy. It's your personal assistant waiting to be discovered. Google Maps becomes your confident guide, showing you exactly where you are and how to get where you want to go. Uber transforms from a mysterious app into your personal driver, eliminating the stress of finding taxis or interpreting foreign public transportation. Food delivery apps turn hunger in an unfamiliar place into an adventure in local cuisine, delivered right to your hotel room door. Start with one app at a time. Learn it completely before adding another. Ask a patient friend or family member to show you the basics. Then practice in your hometown before you travel. The confidence you build ordering dinner through an app in your own city will carry you through ordering meals in Paris or Tokyo. The most powerful feature of all might be location sharing. With a simple tap, your family knows exactly where you are, transforming their worry into support and your solo travel into a shared experience. When you embrace technology as a tool rather than an obstacle, you're not just learning new skills, you're reclaiming your independence one app at a time. Number 6. Prior research about the destination. You're planning a trip to a place you've dreamed about for years, but there's a nagging anxiety in the back of your mind. What if the weather is terrible? What if you can't find good food? What if you get lost and can't find help? These worries can grow in the darkness of the unknown, turning excitement into dread. I remember talking to a traveler who spent so much time worrying about the what-ifs that he almost canceled his trip to Ireland. But then he discovered something magical. Research doesn't just prepare you for problems, it builds anticipation for possibilities. Every video he watched, every article he read, transformed unknowns into familiar friends waiting to be met. Your research becomes your travel companion before you even leave home. Check the weather patterns for your travel dates, not to worry, but to pack appropriately. Look up local customs and dress codes, so you feel confident and respectful. Find the locations of hospitals and pharmacies near your hotel, not because you expect trouble, but because preparation brings peace of mind. Watch travel vlogs created by people your age. See how they navigate the same concerns you have. Notice how they solve problems, where they find joy, what mistakes they learn from. These aren't just travel tips. They're proof that people like you are out there living adventures. Create a simple notebook with important addresses, phone numbers, and local phrases. Write down the names of recommended restaurants, the hours of attractions you want to visit, the location of the nearest embassy if you're traveling internationally. This information transforms from burden to treasure when you're standing on a street corner in a foreign city, knowing exactly where you want to go. Knowledge doesn't eliminate all surprises from travel. It gives you the confidence to handle whatever surprises come your way. Number 7. Positive mindset and emotional lightness. You've planned everything perfectly. Your flights are booked, your hotel is reserved, your itinerary is color-coded and printed. Then your flight gets delayed, your room isn't ready, and it starts raining on the day you plan to visit the outdoor market. In that moment, you face a choice that will define your entire trip. Maybe you've been that traveler before, the one whose vacation got hijacked by a string of small disappointments. You spent more time complaining about what went wrong than appreciating what went right. You came home with stories of mishaps instead of memories of wonder. The trip that was supposed to rejuvenate you left you more frustrated than when you started. Here's what I've learned from watching the happiest travelers. They don't have fewer problems, they have better responses to problems. When their train is late, they discover a charming cafe at the station. When their museum is closed, they stumble upon a local festival in the square. When it rains on their beach day, they spend the afternoon in conversation with locals at a cozy pub. This isn't about pretending problems don't exist or forcing yourself to smile through genuine difficulties. It's about recognizing that flexibility often leads to the most memorable moments of any trip. The stories you'll tell for years rarely come from the perfectly executed plan. They come from the beautiful detours. Travel with a light heart, not just light luggage. Pack curiosity instead of rigid expectations. Bring wonder instead of worry. Remember that you're not on a mission to complete a perfect itinerary. You're on an adventure to collect experiences, even the unexpected ones. The most beautiful discoveries often happen in the spaces between your plans, in the moments when you let go of control and let the journey surprise you. Number 8. Respect your physical limits. You're looking at that tour itinerary that promises to show you 12 historic sites in 8 hours, and part of you thinks you should be able to keep up. After all, you don't want to be the one holding everyone back, the one who needs to sit down while others forge ahead. But your knees are already protesting just thinking about all those stairs and cobblestone streets. There's this pressure, whether from others or from your own stubborn pride, to prove that age hasn't slowed you down. You might push through the discomfort, telling yourself that real travelers don't need breaks, that authentic experiences require suffering. But here's the truth nobody talks about. Ignoring your body's signals doesn't make you a better traveler. It makes you a miserable one. Your body has carried you through decades of life, and it deserves your respect and attention now more than ever. When your feet start hurting, find a bench and people watch. When you feel tired, discover that perfect cafe and savor a slow cup of coffee. When stairs become daunting, take the elevator or find the ramped entrance that many buildings now provide. Listen to what your body is telling you, not what you think it should be able to handle. Plan for 2 or 3 meaningful experiences per day instead of cramming in everything possible. Use local transportation, taxis, or ride-sharing services instead of walking everywhere. These aren't signs of weakness, they're signs of wisdom. The goal isn't to prove you can endure anything. The goal is to create space for joy, wonder, and connection. When you respect your limits, you don't diminish your travel experience. You enhance it by ensuring you have energy to fully appreciate each moment. Some of the most profound travel memories happen in moments of rest, when you're sitting comfortably, watching life unfold around you, feeling grateful for exactly where you are. Number 9. Balanced diet while traveling. You're sitting in a restaurant where the menu is in a language you don't understand, surrounded by aromas that are both enticing and unfamiliar. Your stomach is growling, but your mind is racing with worry. What if this food doesn't agree with your digestion? What if it's too spicy for your sensitive stomach? What if you have an allergic reaction and can't communicate your needs? Food becomes complicated when you travel, especially when your body requires more careful attention than it did in your younger years. You might find yourself longing for simple, familiar meals while surrounded by exotic cuisines. The adventure of trying new foods gets tangled up with concerns about upset stomachs, medication interactions, and dietary restrictions. But eating well while traveling isn't about avoiding all risks or sticking to bland, safe choices. It's about making smart decisions that honor both your health needs and your sense of adventure. Start your day with a nutritious breakfast that gives you sustained energy. Oatmeal, eggs, yogurt, fruit. These foods are available almost everywhere and provide the fuel you need for exploration. Stay hydrated throughout the day, but don't just drink water. Keep packets of oral rehydration salts in your bag for those days when the heat, excitement, or different foods leave you feeling drained. When you eat out, don't be shy about your dietary restrictions. Write them down in the local language or show pictures of foods you can't eat. Most restaurant staff appreciate clear communication and want you to enjoy your meals safely. Choose restaurants that are busy with locals, not just tourists. Fresh turnover usually means fresher food, and following the locals' lead rarely steers you wrong. Nourishing your body well while traveling isn't about limiting your experience. It's about ensuring you have the energy and health to fully embrace every moment of your journey. Number 10. Comfort in clothing and footwear. You're standing in front of your closet, trying to decide what to pack for your trip, and you're torn between looking good and feeling good. Maybe you're tempted to pack those stylish shoes that make you look put together, even though they pinch your toes after an hour. Or perhaps you're considering that beautiful dress that requires special undergarments and isn't practical for walking long distances. There's something about travel that makes us want to present our best selves, to look like the worldly, sophisticated travelers we imagine ourselves to be. But here's what I've learned from countless travelers who came home with blisters, sore feet, and regrets about their wardrobe choices. Comfort isn't the enemy of style. It's the foundation of enjoyment. Your feet will carry you through cobblestone streets, airport terminals, museum halls, and hiking paths. They deserve shoes that have already proven their loyalty, that have been broken in during walks around your own neighborhood. Save the new shoes for when you get home. Your feet will thank you for every comfortable step. Choose fabrics that breathe with you, that don't restrict your movement or trap uncomfortable moisture. Layer your clothing so you can adapt to changing temperatures throughout the day. A lightweight cardigan can transform a cool morning into comfort for a warm afternoon. A scarf can dress up a simple outfit, while also protecting you from unexpected chills or bright sun. Think about the activities you'll be doing, not just the photos you hope to take. That flowing dress might look beautiful in pictures, but if it makes climbing stairs difficult or catches on everything, it will frustrate you throughout the day. When you dress for comfort first, style naturally follows, because confidence is the most beautiful thing you can wear, and comfort is the foundation of confidence. Number 11. Personal and belongings security. Picture this. You're standing in a hotel lobby in a foreign country, and you reach for your wallet to discover it's not there. Your heart starts racing as you pat down all your pockets, check your purse twice, and realize that somewhere between the taxi and the front desk, your financial lifeline has disappeared. Suddenly, this dream trip feels like a nightmare. Security fears can paralyze travelers, especially those who feel more vulnerable because of age or unfamiliarity with foreign places. You might worry about pickpockets, hotel room safety, or losing important documents. These concerns are valid, but they don't have to control your travel experience or keep you home. Smart security starts before you leave home. Make copies of everything important: your passport, driver's license, credit cards, hotel reservations, and travel insurance. Keep physical copies in a separate location from the originals, and store digital copies in your phone or email. Take photos of the front and back of your credit cards and save them securely. Never carry all your money in one place. Distribute cash between your wallet, a hidden money belt, a pocket in your luggage, and maybe even a small amount in your shoe. If you lose one source, you're not stranded without any funds. Keep the phone number for your credit card companies easily accessible, separate from the cards themselves. Choose hotels with safes in the room or at the front desk. Use them for your passport, extra cash, and backup credit cards. Always lock your hotel room door and use the deadbolt or chain. Trust your instincts about people and situations. They're usually right. Security isn't about being paranoid, it's about being prepared. When you take reasonable precautions, you free your mind to focus on the joy and wonder of travel, knowing you've protected yourself against the most common problems. Number 12. Medication management. You're sitting at breakfast in a beautiful cafe, enjoying your coffee and croissant, when suddenly you can't remember. Did you take your morning blood pressure medication? The doubt creeps in, followed by anxiety. Do you take another dose and risk doubling up? Do you skip it and worry all day? This moment of uncertainty can cloud an otherwise perfect travel day. Managing medications while traveling becomes more complex when your routine is disrupted. Time zones are different, and the familiar cues of home are absent. Maybe you've always taken your pills with your morning coffee at your kitchen table, but now you're 3 time zones away, eating breakfast at 10 a.m. local time, wondering if your body clock is ready for medication. Here's where a simple pill organizer becomes your most valuable travel companion. Before you leave home, sort your medications by day and time into a weekly dispenser. This visual system eliminates guesswork and provides peace of mind. You can see at a glance whether you've taken your morning dose or if you still need your evening pills. Set multiple alarms on your phone with clear labels: morning heart medication, lunch diabetes pill, evening blood pressure. Don't rely on remember. Rely on technology to remind you. Adjust the timing to your destination's time zone before you travel, so your medication schedule aligns with your new daily rhythm. Pack extra medication, more than you think you'll need. Flight delays, extended trips, or lost luggage shouldn't put your health at risk. Keep prescription bottles with you in carry-on luggage, not checked bags. Bring a list of your medications with generic names in case you need to replace something while traveling. Consistent medication management isn't about being overly cautious. It's about maintaining the health foundation that makes your travel adventures possible. Number 13. Self-care and personal moments. You're rushing from one tourist attraction to another, checking items off your must-see list, when you suddenly feel exhausted in a way that has nothing to do with walking. You're experiencing everything you plan to experience, but somehow you feel disconnected from it all, like you're watching your own vacation from the outside. Travel can become a performance, a series of obligations to see the famous sights, take the required photos, and collect the expected experiences. You might feel pressure to maximize every moment, to justify the expense and effort of your trip by cramming in as much as possible. But this approach can leave you feeling depleted rather than renewed. The most transformative travel moments often happen in the quiet spaces between activities. That hour you spend sitting in a park, watching local families enjoy their Sunday afternoon. The morning you linger over coffee and pastry, writing in a journal about yesterday's adventures. The evening you skip the recommended restaurant to order room service and read a good book by the window. Build self-care into your travel plans like you would build in meals or transportation. Schedule time to do nothing productive, to simply be present in a new place without agenda or expectation. Bring a playlist of music that makes you happy, a book you've been meaning to read, or a sketchpad for capturing moments that photographs can't hold. Listen to your emotional needs as carefully as you listen to your physical ones. If you need solitude, find a quiet bench in a cathedral or a corner table in a cafe. If you crave connection, strike up a conversation with a fellow traveler or a local shopkeeper. Travel offers the precious gift of time away from your regular responsibilities, but only if you give yourself permission to receive that gift rather than filling every moment with activity. Number 14. Flexibility in the itinerary. You've researched and planned for months. Your itinerary is perfectly timed, with every museum, visit, meal, and transportation connection mapped out to the minute. Then you arrive to discover the main attraction is closed for renovation, your highly recommended restaurant is booked solid, and the weather is the opposite of what you prepared for. This is the moment when rigid planning either ruins your trip or teaches you one of travel's greatest lessons. You might feel angry, disappointed, or cheated out of the experience you paid for and dreamed about. The temptation is to fight against these changes, to spend your vacation trying to force Plan A to work instead of discovering what Plan B might offer. But here's what experienced travelers know. The best travel stories rarely come from perfectly executed plans. They come from the unexpected detour that led to an amazing local festival, the closed museum that forced you to explore a neighborhood you never would have visited, the rainy day that introduced you to the coziest bookshop in town. When your original plan falls apart, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what does this city want to show me today? Maybe it's the covered market you would have walked past if the outdoor market had been open. Maybe it's the conversation with a local stranger who becomes your impromptu guide. Maybe it's the discovery that being lost led you to the most beautiful viewpoint you could never have found on purpose. Keep your must-see list, but hold it lightly. Be willing to trade a famous attraction for an authentic experience. Choose curiosity over disappointment, exploration over frustration. The trips you remember most fondly are rarely the ones that went exactly according to plan. They're the ones where you learn to dance with the unexpected. Number 15. Respect for local culture. You're standing at the entrance to a beautiful temple, and you notice other visitors removing their shoes, covering their shoulders, and speaking in hushed tones. You're not sure of all the rules, but you sense this is a sacred space that deserves your respect. Yet part of you feels uncertain, like you might accidentally offend someone, despite your best intentions. Cultural differences can feel intimidating, especially when you don't speak the local language fluently or understand all the unwritten social rules. You might worry about appearing ignorant, making embarrassing mistakes, or unintentionally disrespecting traditions that are important to the local community. These fears can make you feel like an outsider looking in, instead of a welcome visitor sharing in the experience. Here's what I've discovered through years of travel. Most people appreciate genuine effort far more than perfect execution. When you approach new cultures with curiosity rather than judgment, with respect rather than superiority, doors open that remain closed to the indifferent traveler. Before entering religious sites, observe what others are doing and follow their lead. Dress modestly, remove shoes when required, and maintain quiet, respectful behavior. These simple acts of consideration show that you understand you're a guest in someone else's sacred space. In restaurants, markets, and public spaces, a smile and polite gestures can communicate respect even when words fail. Learn a few basic phrases in the local language. Please, thank you, excuse me, and I'm sorry. The effort to communicate in their language, however imperfectly, demonstrates respect for their culture. Remember that you're not just a tourist taking pictures. You're a temporary member of their community. The respect you show for local customs and traditions will be reflected back to you in the warmth and kindness you receive. When you travel with cultural humility, you don't just see the sights, you connect with the spirit of the places you visit. Number 16. Enjoy interacting with people. You're sitting alone at a small cafe, watching the local life unfold around you, when an elderly gentleman at the next table nods and smiles. You have an impulse to say hello, to ask about his recommendations for the city, but something holds you back. Maybe it's shyness, language barriers, or the fear that you'll be bothering someone who just wants to enjoy their coffee in peace. Solo travel can sometimes feel lonely, especially during mealtimes or quiet evening hours when you're surrounded by couples and families sharing their experiences with each other. You might feel conspicuous, like everyone is wondering why you're traveling alone, or worried that people will see you as vulnerable or sad. But here's one of the most beautiful secrets of travel. People are generally kind, curious, and helpful when approached with genuine interest and respect. That shopkeeper who takes extra time to help you find the perfect souvenir, the fellow traveler who shares restaurant recommendations, the local grandmother who shows you how to properly eat the regional specialty. These moments of human connection often become the highlights of your journey. Start with small interactions. Ask for directions even when you know the way. Compliment someone's garden or pet, or simply make eye contact and smile when appropriate. Many locals are proud of their home and eager to share recommendations with visitors who show genuine interest. Don't be afraid to eat at the counter in restaurants or join walking tours where conversation happens naturally. Other solo travelers often become fast friends, bound by shared experiences and mutual understanding of the joys and challenges of independent travel. The stories you'll treasure most won't be about the monuments you saw, but about the people you met along the way, the conversations that surprised you, and the connections that reminded you that the world is full of kindness. Number 17. Traveling alone with confidence. You're standing at the airport gate, boarding pass in hand, watching families and couples prepare for their flights while you prepare for yours. There's excitement in your chest, but also a flutter of nervousness. This is it, your first solo adventure in years, maybe decades. Part of you wonders if you're crazy to do this alone, if people will judge you, if you'll be safe and happy traveling without a companion. Society has strange ideas about solo travel, especially for older adults. People might ask with concern, "You're going alone?" As if independence is something to pity rather than celebrate. You might have internalized some of these beliefs, wondering if solo travel means you're lonely, if it's selfish, or if it's somehow less meaningful than traveling with others. But let me tell you what solo travel really means. It means every decision is yours. You wake up when your body wants to wake up, eat what appeals to you, spend as long as you want in the art museum, or skip it entirely if you're not in the mood. You move at your own pace, follow your own interests, and discover parts of yourself that only emerge in solitude and new environments. The confidence you build with each successful solo experience, from navigating a foreign airport to finding your way back to your hotel, is cumulative and transformative. You realize you're more capable than you imagined, more resourceful, more interesting as a solo traveler than you ever knew. Yes, there will be moments of loneliness, but there will also be moments of profound peace, unexpected conversations, and pure joy that comes from pleasing only yourself. You'll discover that eating dinner alone isn't sad, it's luxurious. Walking through a museum at your own pace isn't lonely, it's meditative. Solo travel isn't about proving you don't need anyone. It's about proving to yourself that you're complete, capable, and worthy of adventure, exactly as you are. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want you to take a moment and really let this sink in. Every single tip we've talked about, from booking your own flights to packing smart, from managing your medications to embracing flexibility, they all point to one beautiful truth. You are not done exploring this world. Somewhere along the way, society whispered that turning 60 meant turning inward, that adventure was for the young, that independence was something you gradually surrender. But you and I both know that's not true. Your age isn't a limitation, it's a qualification. You've earned the wisdom to travel smart, the confidence to trust your instincts, and the freedom to move through this world on your own terms. When you take control of your travel planning, you're not just booking a trip. You're declaring that your dreams still matter, that your curiosity is still alive, that your story is still being written. Every app you master, every comfortable shoe you pack, every moment you spend researching your destination, you're building something precious, the unshakable knowledge that you are capable, independent, and ready for whatever adventure calls to you. The world is waiting for you, not the you from 30 years ago, but the you who exists right now, with all your experience, all your strength, and yes, all your careful preparations. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to trust yourself enough to take that first step. So let me ask you this. Which of these lessons did you most need to hear today? Was it the reminder that technology can be your friend? Or that flexibility turns problems into possibilities? If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to remember their own traveling spirit. And I'll see you next time, when we'll explore more ways to live fully and fearlessly at any age. Until then, keep dreaming, keep planning, and keep moving forward. The world needs what you have to offer.